am so thrilled to be here today to talk about something that is both incredibly relevant and unfortunately still very much a challenge in the world today, the glass ceiling. Now, I'll take a lucky guess about what you are probably thinking. A glass ceiling? Gen Z would say, what a perfect name for a science fiction movie, right? I mean, I would want to think of it like that as well. But yes, it's an interesting name, but most importantly, it is this invisible but very real and powerful barrier that prevents women and minorities from reaching their full potential in their careers, no matter how skilled and qualified they are. It is frustrating, that frustrating feeling where you can see the top, you can see all the opportunities, but no matter how hard you try, something seems to hold you back. Maybe it is an unconscious bias, or maybe outdated stereotypes, or just the simple fact that some people are not given the same chances and opportunities to rise as others. So today, we are here to have a real conversation about this barrier, why it still exists, how it impacts both people and organizations, and most importantly, what can we do to break through it. We've got a powerhouse panel here today to share with us their insights, their experiences and solutions, and to inspire us all. So without further ado, let me introduce Beanish, a pioneering force in law enforcement. SP Beanish Fatima is the Chief Traffic Officer Rawalpindi and a recipient of the prestigious IACP 40 Under 40 Award 2024. With a dynamic career spanning organized crime, cybercrime, and field operations, she has led key roles as SP Organized Crime Unit Punjab and DDFIA Cybercrime. Passionate about inclusive policing, she also spearheaded the Tahaffuz Center for Transgenders, setting new benchmarks in community engagement and security leadership. Welcome, Beanish. Rabia Amin, a visionary in arts, culture, and heritage preservation. Rabia Amin has dedicated over 27 years to promoting Pakistan's rich artistic legacy. Currently serving as the Director of Marketing at Silk Road Culture Center, she continues to drive impactful cultural initiatives. Previously, as a senior marketing consultant at PNCA, she led major projects like Islamabad Art Festival, National Theatre Festival, and CPEC Cultural Festival, fostering strategic partnerships to elevate Pakistan's cultural diplomacy. Her expertise in event curation, marketing, and cross-border collaborations continues to develop the country's creative landscape. Welcome, Rabia, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Moving on, Nadia Zubair, a powerhouse in corporate law and intellectual property. Nadia Zubair has played a pivotal role in shaping Pakistan's legal landscape. An expert in legislative drafting, she was instrumental in Geographical Indications Act and previously served as international consultant at WIPO in Geneva, working on global IP policies. She now continues her impactful legal work as a consultant and client support specialist at Shahids and Shaukat's law firm, driving reforms that protect Pakistan's economic and cultural assets. Super impressed, Nadia. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Last but not the least, a pioneer in digital financial inclusion. Palwasha Faizan is transforming Pakistan's financial landscape. With nearly a decade in the corporate sector, she has played a key role in launching the Jazz Cash and Connect apps, revolutionizing branchless banking and making financial services more accessible to understand communities. Now she's focused on developing non-traditional banking solutions tailored for Gen Z, redefining the future of digital finance. Thank you very much. So guys and girls, let's dive in. Let us get ready to talk about how we shatter that glass ceiling once and for all. I would want to start off by asking you about your personal journeys. So Binesh, if you were to talk about what were the biggest obstacles in your career and a defining moment where you had to push past the barrier.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, very happy to be here and thank you for inviting. Very happy again to be part of such great panel coming from very different various backgrounds, because that is not the kind of exposure I generally get to have, so I'm sure I will be learning a lot from here. Talking about the barriers and glass ceiling, I think the most important point is that we sitting here in front of all these young minds and children, we are talking about a thing that exists in our society. So first of all, let's see from where the glass ceiling is coming from. Any statistic that you take, you will see that females form a much lesser number than males in our society. Whether you start counting the number of females walking down the road, or you start looking at a digital gender gap, as all of you will be using phones and internet, but you will be surprised to know that only 23% of Pakistani females have access to internet. Only 3% of all Pakistani media personnel are female. In police, females are less than 2%. And you know, in many other professions, you just take the numbers and you will see the female representation is much less. So that inherently creates that barrier, because people don't feel comfortable when a woman walks in the room. And somehow they don't see that it is not an even ground, not providing the opportunity for women to rise. They see it as maybe they are not good enough, not competent enough. They come with their baggage of issues. They'll have to get married. They'll eventually have to have kids. Then females start thinking it themselves. And I think this is the biggest barrier. I don't think that environmental barriers are big as such, because then you see females excelling in all the fields that there are. Like, name it and you will see a female who wants to excel, she will excel. The biggest barrier is the societal barrier that we self-impose on ourselves. That, for example, when I was growing up in my career, the moment I had my first child, I thought that I need to slow down. Because with my 24/7, 30-day-a-month work routine and the kind of exposure that I get to have, maybe I will not be a good mother. But then, you know, I share it at all the forums, and I think it's very important to acknowledge the male champions who are there to encourage you. So when I had my first child, I went to my senior. I was like that I don't think I will be able to take a very responsible, fully crime-infested circle that I am posted in, so just give me a side posting. And he was like that there is no need for it. You will just take 1 month and your life will settle with your child and you will be good to go. And that is exactly what happened. And it's been 9 years in service now. I have 2 kids and I haven't been off operations for a single day in my life. So I think... and I really feel that the barriers that you impose on yourself, this is the biggest glass ceiling. Because somewhere females are always thinking this, that we have to be somebody who's looking after the family, we need to be good mothers. Even all the teachers, I give that example a lot to the women who are working for me. Because again, police is a different kind of profession, a little bit non-traditional. There are very few females and the working hours are often very strenuous. And what I tell them is that even if being a teacher is considered a sort of comfortable profession for females in our society, but this is, I think, the biggest myth. I feel that being a teacher is a very difficult profession. And you know, I tell them all the time that even if you think of this profession as being comfortable, it's not. You are constantly engaged. And in that, you are fulfilling all your other responsibilities. So when this can be done in one line of work, it can be done in all lines of work. So I feel that number one is this. Number two, of course, is societal. But see, societal glass ceilings can only be broken down by setting examples. I feel that when you see a woman rising, other women will aspire to be her, and the people around her will tell her to be like somebody successful. So I think that is the only way to break the societal glass ceiling. And thirdly, this is how we break it down. We have young minds, we talk to them, we explain them the things in eternity, and they grow up to be individuals who are totally different, progressive, and I will say more natural to the surroundings than the past generations. Thank you.
Thank you. Nadia, what would you like to comment about? What were your biggest obstacles in your career and a defining moment perhaps where you push past this barrier?
Thank you. So beautifully narrated by Binesh. Actually, this is the profession she's at, and of course myself being a lawyer, it is a profession which is very male dominant. Making your place here, first going through it the time I did my law, it was not so acceptable in Pakistan that girls going to kacheris and all that, and first barrier is that your family. Especially not coming from a legal background. So the first barrier was there, and in those days, most of we didn't have like proper law firms as well. You had to go, they used to sit in the evenings, and so definitely the fathers and all, they were really against all that. But basically that's what, that was the first persistence I had on my thought process that no, I will go ahead and I will make something out. Well, anyways, I embarked upon this beautiful journey, did my LLB, my LLM, everything, came back to Pakistan. And from there on, I started my practice. Beyond all these struggles, there were obviously the law firm I joined. It was very difficult because they said that we don't employ ladies because I worked in Karachi. So they said our timings are like really long. We start at 8, we finish at 8, at 9, and no girl stays. So we can't afford to have you on. I said, okay, try me. I will not disappoint you. So a year and a half I went through, and then of course that went really well, alhamdulillah. Thereon, when I joined the government, my main inspiration was that somehow I am able to contribute with whatever I have brought in. So the revision of laws, establishment of tribunals, drafting of law. So all of these things demanded a lot of work and time and resilience. So from my journey, what I take, my taking point is that resilience, hard work, and second thing that I felt was that for a lady, you have to work 10 times more than a man to prove yourself, because I'm sure Binesh must have experienced people coming from all rural backgrounds also. In their areas, women don't work the way we do. So you come across as an alien to them. So you face a lot of backlash. I have experienced a comment in a board meeting that you are a woman, stay silent. So you have to have a lot of, you have to have a lot of patience to understand that the man who said that in their areas, women are not allowed to come across men and speak out, you see. This is what we have to fight through. And then we become a support system for other women who are coming in. And moving forward, and then I got a chance to actually draft a legislation for Pakistan. Then there was the Basmati case. I was co-author for the law, and eventually for the Basmati case, I was very fortunate that I got a chance to support the government in that also. And just recently we are seeing that good things are happening, and possibly the decision will be coming in favor of Pakistan. So, but then again, this is all resilience. You have to be very resilient. Hard work, resilience for a lady is very important. We are not here to compete men. We are here to support. Women are emotionally intelligent. So with this blessing that we have inherently, this is how we move forward.
Guys, make no mistake. This panel discussion is not here to tell you that, number one, girls have to work extra hard. Of course we do. This is an established fact. But the reason behind that is not resistance created by the males of the society. occasionally it so happens that it is the females that create barriers for other females, and that is something that I would want the esteemed panel to comment on as well. But before that, I would want Palvisha to explain to us the biggest obstacles in her career.
As you all know, banking is a very male-dominated profession. It's a career path that I think females don't dream of. You don't, in school, you don't grow up saying that I want to be a banker. If that has changed in Gen Z, I would be really happy to know that. So the biggest obstacle in the corporate sector and the banking sector of the country is that not being given the same amount of listening attention, encouragement that a male counterpart would, with the same level of qualifications, the same level of intellect, and the same level of confidence. I think classrooms are a place where scores and exam grades are deciding who will be at the top. But real life is very, very different, and as soon as you enter those big offices, as a woman, it hit me for the first time that, oh, so now I'm competing against this guy that I was just in the class with, and it's not going to be a graded system. It is a completely different story altogether, right? But the biggest obstacle for me was to get attention, to be heard, to actually acquire a place, right? So if you're sitting in a large boardroom, to sit at the table and not at the back, to make sure that you make the most of that opportunity and speak up, because you are there for a reason. And overcoming that imposter syndrome as a female, I think is very, very difficult, and boys go through that as well. I think we should empathize with that as well. But on top of that, I think as soon as you guys start helping each other as fresh minds, just know that your perspective is the reason why you are there. So I think that was my biggest obstacle. Yeah.
Very nice, short and sweet. Moving forward with Rabia, could you please share your experiences about your career obstacles?
When I joined my first agency, the art director said that जी आप तो कुछ भी नहीं आता, आप तो ज़मीन पे बैठ के काम करें, हमारे पास तो कंप्यूटर भी नहीं है, हमारे पास तो ये भी नहीं है, मैंने कहा अच्छा ठीक है फाइन कर लेते वो भी कर लेते हैं. So one day there was a advertising campaign which was going on for Askri cement. Just picked up 2 bricks, put them on a scanner, and I scanned them and threw the bricks away and made the art campaign and let it go. Finally, that campaign won, and we got the project, and my boss came and he said, आप लड़कों को इतनी समझ नहीं आ रही कि किस तरह bridge together करना है. So only a woman can understand that. कहीं ना कहीं से politics आ जाती है. जब politics आती है तो you have to be brave enough to deal with it. So yeah, there you go.
अगर मैं अभी तक जो कॉन्वर्सेशन चली है उसको समराइज करने की कोशिश करूं तो लाइक बीनेश हैड सेड, इट कुड बी ऑल इन योर हेड. अगर आपके जहन में, आपके दिमाग में एक प्री कंसीव्ड नोशन है दैट मेरे साथ ये होना ही है बिकॉज आई एम अ फीमेल, दैट्स वेयर द डैमेज स्टार्ट्स टू हैपन. Sometimes it so happens that women do not uplift other women, they pull them down. Sometimes it so happens that men have this fixated viewpoint of a performance of a woman which will be lower than that of men, and in many corporate sectors. कुछ organizations जो बहुत forward thinking हैं, they decided to mitigate this phenomena by introducing gender quotas. And they thought, we have come up with a eureka moment, we have come up with the hack for gender parity. Is that really the solution? What if you don't fit into the 70% quotas, you are really hardworking, ambitious, creative, and you need that break in your career to join an organization, but वो तो कोटा है, उन्होंने तो 70% के बाद आपसे किसी और को हायर ही नहीं करना. So do you think that is fair? That's also a question that I would want to, ask one of our, esteemed panelists. So, Beanish, what would you, have to comment about that?
अच्छा देखिए कोटा जो है ना आई हैव बीन डिस्कसिंग इट एट मैनी forums and we need to understand it. It's not a gender thing, it's a equality and equity debate that is going on there. See, maybe somebody, like if I take my example, I've been to good schools, I got the same opportunities my brother did, my father have been extremely supportive, now my husband is extremely supportive, so I am not an ideal candidate who fits on the quota. However, a girl who is living in a rural side where she doesn't have any social support available and she is struggling on her own, maybe she will not be able to come at the same parameters where a girl from a privileged background getting all the facilities equivalent to the male counterparts can. So quota is basically for her. So what I really strongly advocate is that the panelist rightly mentioned, that we need to bring the rural woman, the woman with lack of opportunities forward. So quota is the ideal tool to support her. There is no other support. We can't go sit in their homes and start making the generational ideological changes. What we can do is that as government, as departments, as societies, we create system where we provide her a little extra opportunity which is in the bait for the lost opportunity. So that is how the quota operates. That is exactly how it operates in the civil services also. Like for example, I joined the police on open merit. I was not eligible for quota, but one of my batchmates, she did join on a quota, but my journey and her journey was completely different. And I think when you contextualize it as such, I think it's only fair. Secondly, see, there is no debate about it that in majority of our country, the kind of social setup that we have, the kind of social fabric we have a major chunk of women who are deprived of opportunities. Maybe all of us sitting here do not qualify for that genre, but there is a big section. You don't have female schools, right? For example, if I give you examples, when I joined back in 2017, I joined, my first posting was also in Pindi. There was not a single washroom for females. So, when we started coming in, we started talking about it, that there need to be a washroom for the constabulary, they need to be provided separate transport, there should be sitting areas, there should be daycares, and we have been building that support system as we progressed. So, there is that, the quota debate. I think for the sake of it, you keep on debating. You have to make up for the 70-year lost. How will you do that? You have to somehow even it out. For example, we have less than 2% of women in police, right? And the 51% of population is our female. And all the people who are coming to us, somehow a lady is involved. Even if she's not the victim, she's not the accused, she's the witness, she's somebody affected. So somehow they are engaged with you. But then on the other side of the table, they have zero representation. In my first posting, I was the first female to be ever posted in my circle. In my second posting, again, I was the first female to be ever posted in that circle. In my fourth posting, again, then fifth in all over Pakistan, and now I'm the first female to be ever posted as Chief Traffic Officer. So see, the first don't matter. What matters is that we should not be the last ones. There should be more females coming after us. And if that is not the point that we are making, and that is not the route that we are creating, we are all failing together. Like you mentioned that females are pulling other females. See, there is competition. I always look at it as competition. Competition is healthy. People working under you will never envy you. This is the rule of the game. People even the seniors will not bother that much. They will just see that you don't dim their shine, but I think that being a leader, that is a very negative approach to have. People will envy you who are at the same career ladder, and I think it is very natural. It is very healthy. You should look at it in this way. And this thing that females tug each other, I think I have said it in many conferences, this is a male-generated jargon. आप जैसे किसी मर्द से बात करेंगे ना अफसर से, वो कहेगा ख़वातीन भी तो देखे ना एक दूसरे को पुल करती. अब मेरी कंपटीशन है, शी इज़ फाइटिंग फॉर द सेम सीट दैट आई एम, तो व्हाई शुड शी नॉट ट्राई टू डू दैट? तो आई थिंक दैट इज़ हेल्दी एंड दैट इज़ ओके, एंड फीमेल सपोर्ट ईच अदर, and even many males also support you. But I feel that a lot of females, I think मुझे तो जितनी भी ख़वातीन मिलती हैं वो मुझे देख के खुशी होती हैं. मुझे तो आज तक नहीं लगा कि कोई खफा हो गई है. So
अब नादिया और पलवशा से थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट क्वेश्चन करते हैं. कैन women truly have it all? Let's start from you, Nadia.
Yes, they can. have it all, and they should have a big heart too. Rather, whatever they have, it should be, as we say, training of the TOT, training of the trainers. What we get should be spread. If we have it all, it will never suffice. There is no end to all. When we reach a certain position, then it is rather mandatory on us that now is the time where we have to bring more in. And correctly so, for women, I think they need to understand it's not that they're any less, more so, rather they're more powerful. The empowerment that they need is, they need to understand that when you're working, you're not a woman or a man. That time, your focus has to be correct. You need to know, this is what I need to achieve, be it come what may, that's what I say. That you achieve, and then when you achieve a target, the other women, you set an example for them. You make it happen for them that if I can do it, you can do it as well, right? So, in my understanding, having it all means having everyone together. Thank you.
Excellent. What a response. Very nice. Let's hear from you, Palvisha. What are your feelings about this?
So, my answer would be yes and no, depending on your aspirations. Truly having it all is hard, and it's a lot of work. The idea of, like, this working mother who's going to have children. I have a son as well, who's going to be coming back from the mat leave and doing it all over again, and then having that same career drive within her, is very, very difficult. Just like becoming a world-class athlete requires 10,000 hours, this also requires 10,000 hours. So if that is your aspiration and you want to gear yourself up to becoming that all-star player, sure, go ahead. Aspire for truly having it all, right? But if that is not your aspiration and life has come up with some various different kinds of challenges, I think it's also okay to take a step back sometimes, just reconsider your priorities, because the best home and the eventual end for everyone is to come back home, and the best home is a happy home. So you have to make decisions that accordingly help you shape your career. I think truly having it all is going to be possible for few, but doing more of what Allah Ta'ala has given you is definitely something you should aspire towards. So whatever qualities anyone has, make sure that you make use of them. Any talents that you have, any aspirations that you have in your career, if you think that you have a supportive family. So prioritizing your life and not comparing it to anyone else is really going to be truly having it all. It's not just your careers.
When I joined Beaconhouse, तो मेरी orientation में my boss said to me, also one of the people who I attribute my success to, whatever success I've received, your ambitions should be such that scare you. And if you don't get scared, you don't have those goosebump moments, then they are not high enough.
High enough.
Lady, on that note, we would love to hear some questions that the audience may have for us. So we are opening the floor for questions.
Ma'am, so there are two statements you made. Number one, what did you mean? It's like the one statement, what you made, gender equality. It's like a really loaded term. So can you explain this term? Another question is, when you were mentioning about the quota system, there was a point I was thinking, like women are intelligent, all right, they score more than us, like obviously, so you guys see like they score 90%, 95, not even 96, 97%. In medical universities, they take all the seats up. No worries, all right, we are good till here. Then after 2-3 years, they're gonna leave the job. Why is that so? This is unfair for me. Then in the future I have to feed my family and stuff like that. And if the woman is gonna take all the seats in medical universities, how am I gonna get the job? Like that's not fair.
So would you like to add something?
So इसमें दो ही जवाब हैं मेरे आपको पहला ये कि equity और equality ये दो बड़े important concepts हैं that we need to understand. See, equal is that everyone in the room can enter and जितने आ सकते हैं वो आ जाएं और सब आके बैठ गए और अब सारी seats are now occupied. Equity is कि when one person has to do 10 million other things before leaving the house versus the other person who's just entered the hall. And that's your mother. She's going to be the last person sitting in the car most of the times, right? So equity बड़ा एक important concept है जिसको समझने की ज़रूरत है और इस वजह से ख़वातीन काम नहीं करती अपनी डिग्रीज़ लेने के बाद क्योंकि ग्लोबल रिसर्च ये मेरा दूसरा पॉइंट इसको टाई इन करेगा ग्लोबल रिसर्च ये शो करती है दैट औरतों की सक्सेस में इज़ डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू द चॉइस ऑफ पार्टनर दैट दे विल मेक इन देयर लाइव्स this is global data, this is not Pakistan. So as soon as they make the right choice of partner, they will be successful, they will get that job. If they make the wrong choice, they will be at home and the level playing field will not be equal for them. So I think both genders need to work together to form future families of Pakistan where we treat families as institutions. Because both of you sometimes have to take the lead role, sometimes you have to take the back seat. And both of you have to work together. So otherwise this balance is not going to get any better for men and women. And you just pointed it out yourself. Patriarchy hurts men and women in the wrong way. And that is why we are advocating for change.
Very nicely. So, Beanish, I would request you to respond to this. As a leader, how do you mentor and support the next generation in breaking barriers? This is a question from Ikra Shaukat, who's a graduate from Beaconhouse, Faisalabad campus, class of 2004.
See, being a leader, I think it's very important to make clear concepts, try to reduce the conflict and encourage healthy competition. I don't think there is any other way to do it. Right now I have around 1,300 men and 76 women working for me. So I know that this is a very odd ratio. So what I did immediately was that I started posting women on positions where they had no work experience of, because I understood that you have to bring them forward. I can't wait for another 10 years for them to gain experience. So what I felt was that although it sort of offended a few other people that they've just been brought on the top, but then I explained them the same thing, that if we have 26 postings, only 3 are females. So if you can't qualify for the 23, what are the odd chances that you will be qualifying for the 3 that you are eyeing on, right? And secondly, I think that it is very important in our country, especially in my kind of work where we are dealing with a lot of public every day, there is a lot of frustration which I feel is very unnecessary. In small things we feel that there is fatigue and struggle and unfairness. I think we need to get past that attitude. I feel that we don't take the responsibility and onus of our choices. The moment we start to own the choices that we are making, and the moment you start to teach the same to your team, that see, if you are making a choice and it brings with it a few sleepless nights, a tired self, and sometimes you feel burnout, it is okay. It is the part and parcel of the choice you are making. Choices are never going to be comfortable, and you make it much more uncomfortable when you are angry about it. So I think that all of you also should take that away. If you want to excel, it will come with hard work come with tiredness come with sleeplessness. Sometimes you will feel like doing something else, but you would really want to go somewhere, for example, but you have to miss it out. And that is okay. That is the cost of success. Never let the cost of success make you angry. I tell this to my team every day. When they come up to me complaining, and with law enforcement we are really overburdened, I get all of that. But the thing is, I always tell them that if you feel that your job is making your life miserable, quit it. And if you think that your life is going to be happier without the job that you are doing, make that choice. But if your life is being sustained because of the work that you are doing, then give it the due respect.
Teji, last question. How do you handle workplace bias? whether it is overt discrimination or subtle microaggressions? This is a question from Beaconhouse Gujranwala campus, Khadija Chand, who's an alumna there.
At that very moment when it happens. Every time someone makes an unfair comment, an unfair judgment about me or my any colleague, male or female, if I know their potential, I will advocate for them. Behind their back, in a formal session. So I'm also the diversity, equity and inclusion champion at HPL, and that puts me in that spot where I'm that class monitor. So if someone is saying कि वो तो भाई work from home पे काम नहीं होता, तो I don't let that comment go. Like these microaggressions, right? कि वो कि औरतों को नहीं हम hire कर सकते, उनकी शादी हो जाएगी. I'm sorry, what? Like, and then they're like, नहीं नहीं मैडम, ये हम आपके बारे में नहीं कह रहे, ये बाकी सब खवातीन के बारे में कह रहे हैं. और उस point पे there is a very very important phenomena that happens. Either you feel really special, like I am the queen, like it's called the queen bee syndrome in feminism, that I am the queen and nobody else can come near me. Or you can say, oh, you know what, out of the 10, my most favorite people of 2024, 7 are females. And they are as good at their jobs as any other guy. So you advocate for that and you take action there and then. If you're going to talk about it behind someone's back, you've missed the chance.
So एक चीज़ तो तय है, for anything, for any issue, whether it's the glass ceiling, whether it is whatever, पहली बात, there is no cookie cutter solution to a single problem. हर organization के dynamics different होते हैं, हर field of work की requirements different होती हैं, आपके school के dynamics आपके साथ वाले school से बहुत different होंगे, challenges different होते हैं, opportunities different होती हैं. It is the resilience, it is the true passion, the love from within that makes the universe conspire to make something happen for you. And on that note, I would love to close this panel and thank my esteemed panelists for their valuable input and amazing insights. This has just been a true pleasure being on stage with you all. Thank you, Ji.
Beaconhouse Old Student Society, POS, building a community together.